One. I've done my customary count and we should be live. And guys, I am super hyped, super excited today because today I have someone who I consider a friend and has just been absolutely awesome. You guys may know him as John. You guys may know him as Pez, or you guys may know him as Pez82, the ultimate Mr. YouTuber. So Pez, come in, introduce yourself, say hello to the people, and welcome to the channel.
Hello, I'm Pez82, the ultimate Mr. YouTuber, and Pixel, I'm really happy to be on your channel today. I would say that up until today, I would have considered you an acquaintance, but I'm going to graduate you to a friend just because we're doing a stream together.
You know what? That is damn good. So what we'll do is what we're going to talk about arcade games. We're going to talk about arcade games that we enjoy on the Mister, arcade games that we'd like to see on the Mister, and just games that we played growing up. So we almost started with we were going to lose our friendship because we were going to start with like a Street Fighter Alpha free game, but no, we've gone for Metal Slug, and that's what's showing here. So guys,
I think we'd have lost the friendship, and I think we would have both lost all of our credibility when people saw how terrible we were at Capcom fighting games.
Absolutely, man. I suck. People say I'm good. I'm like, you should see the people I play, man. So, you know, I'm like the shittest guy in the room, but hey, you know, sometimes I'm better. So I want to just show you guys, I want to show you guys Pez's channel. So this is Pez's channel, Pez82. Please make sure you go and subscribe. His handle is at MiSTerFPGA. Guys, you have to watch his last video. That one there on the left-hand side, bottom left of the screen, FPGA news. New tiny FPGA Sci-P tank console coming. Guys, I watched it twice. I never watch anything twice. Even like my favorite movie, I've not seen twice. And the reason I watched it twice is it is damn hilarious. Like, it is just hilarious. So definitely check out Pez's channel. Yeah, right. So let's do a little bit of gaming. So Pez, I'll tell you what, you play. I'm going to watch you play, and I might just join in randomly, and I'll do some chatter, and we'll do some chatter. We've got Alan D in chat. We've got Anime Otaku in chat, and we've got average blue collar dude in chat. So hey, hello, and hope everyone is doing super duper well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Metal Slug.
So
that's a good game to start off with, isn't it?
Where did you first play this? Did you play this in an arcade? Did you have yourself a Neo Geo? You were the rich kid, and you had the Neo Geo. Then you played it in the arcade. Give us a bit of a backstory on this. What happened? How did you find it?
All right, I shall tell you when I first played it in an arcade and when I first played it. So the first time I played Metal Slug was actually not until, gosh, probably about the mid 2000s, and it was on emulation, and it would have been on an original Xbox modded to the hilt with coin ops. Do you remember have you ever played any modded original Xbox, Pixel?
Do you know the modded original Xbox was the first time I would say I properly got into emulation. I still remember when I first got it, I took a week off work and I did nothing but stay at home. I was a single guy then, but I did hang out with Mary Jane, and Mary Jane and the original Xbox, I was amazed by it. I was completely amazed, and I got to play games from my childhood. I got to play games I saw in the arcade but never got to play. It was amazing, and Metal Slug is what some of the games I did play on there, but I may have played it a little bit before that though.
Well, I think you probably beat me to it then. So it was definitely emulation. I first played Metal Slug on the original Xbox, but loved it so much that and I think the original Xbox emulation scene was probably what got me back into, I suppose, what is now called retro gaming, because the sort of the game design of the sort of Xbox 360 era games just didn't really capture my imagination as much as the earlier stuff, and I kind of fell out of love with gaming, and I thought I'd fallen out of love with gaming completely. Oh, I see you've joined me, by the way.
I have.
Welcome aboard.
Here you go.
And I think it was about that time I just thought, yeah, you know what, I haven't fallen out of love with gaming. I just don't like the current crop of games that are coming out for the Xbox 360 and whatnot. So ended up thinking, well, let's recapture that. And I actually I went on, I think it must have been one of these AliExpress super cheap consoleized MVS consoles that they were doing, where you sort of buy an old arcade board that had been consoleized in probably the most worst, horrendous way ever, with terrible picture quality compared to, you know, doing it yourself. But I picked up one of them, and one of the sort of those yellow 151 in one carts, and sort of Metal Slug has been a favourite ever since, I think. And then obviously when the MiSTer came out, sort of early days of MiSTer, once the Neo Geo core came out, it's been a mainstay.
Well, yeah, the Neo Geo core is fantastic. It's not the reason I got into MiSTerFPGA. CPS2 was, but hell, man, like the Neo Geo core is one of my favorite ones on there. Love playing it, love streaming it. Just for the record, guys, we're playing on Fightcade because we won't be able to play online multiplayer on the MiSTer, at least not yet. So Fightcade is a good option.
Wouldn't it be good if there was a Fightcade equivalent on MiSTer? I can't see it happening anytime soon. But
do you know what? MiSTer's my offline thing, but I can see future projects that are more powerful, having Fightcade integration or having like that software emulation and the FPGA side on there. There's definitely been talk of that. So yeah, it could well come. Let's run another game, Pez. So you started with this. Yeah. I'm going to go with a game. So let me so let's go here. Okay, let me get out of this. So here you go. Let's see. I want to see what you guys are seeing. You should be able to see like the Rannis Nice wallpaper that I've got. But what I'm going to do, let's do Night Slashers, because that's a great game I've grown to like, and that's a game many people are really looking forward to. So if you go Night Slashers and meet me in that room, and yeah, we can start our game there, guys. So guys, this is a game I'd love to see a core of this come out, and I have challenged you, Pez. Please accept. So you're not seeing the Fightcade screen, guys. I haven't got it on here. But yeah, we have got that. So guys, don't forget, if you're enjoying this video, then hit that subscribe button. Okay, let me have a look. It should be up here. Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. Subscribe while we're doing that. Right. Okay. Let's see. Has that loaded up? Oh, what's going on here, Pez? Has it coming up, or is it not coming up?
I've got some sort of BIOS screen. IO check game options on my end.
Okay. I don't know. I have played this before. Maybe you want to challenge me. And then see if it works that way around. So, guys, we are doing this in real time. So, okay, I didn't turn so that sound must be different. We've turned the game sound down, but the challenge sound we haven't. Let's see, is it starting in game, or maybe you have to do something? You still getting that message?
Still got the menu screen on IO check game options, coin options, sound options. Okay,
all right. What we do then, just so the viewers can see this game, and we can talk about this game. I'm going to try and just do test game and see if it works. By the way, I have got a new PC as well, which I picked up last Sunday. So even when I was doing my weekly news video, there was some software missing. Okay, so that's clearly not on there. Sorry guys. Night Slashers, no. All right, so let's see if we'll pick one game at a time. So I'm going to go Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja, Pez. Hopefully that will work. So that's a classic. That's already available for MiSTer. It's great. Let me just say hello to some other people. Mark Spencer, unloved homie, coffee time, wicked in the house. RT Retro Gamer is here. And as well as that, okay, so Pez, I'm going to challenge you. Who else have we got? Average Blue Collared Dude, wicked. Perfect timing for epic background entertainment while I polish the spokes for my 1987 Redline RL20II BMX, wicked. And where's Karen?
Is polishing the spokes a euphemism?
I'm not. Oh, is that what it is? Nah, he's genuinely. Guy's got a BMX. Are you accepting a challenge? Are you blanking me, Pez?
Hang on one sec. Bad Dudes, accept.
Wicked. This should work. Maybe Night Slashers has something extra that's required. Here we go. We're on. So, where were you when this came out? So I played this. Me and my buddy Chris used to play this 2 players. With arcade games, there were some arcade games that were fun 2-player, and there were some that were annoying. This one was fun 2 players. Me and my buddy Chris used to play this in Chip Shop. We used to bunk off school and in order to play this. But before we start this, I just want to say, what's that character that you've got? You've got is it our pal Dreamcast? Is that, are we going to see? What's it called?
Yeah, the PAL Dreamcast. Yeah, it started off in my original channel before I deleted everything. It was a physical, actual Dreamcast, and what had happened was I'd bought myself a US black sports Dreamcast. You know, the black one with the Sega Sports logo on it. and it was my new sort of pride and joy, and I had it modded with our HDMI input and all the rest of it. And my original Dreamcast became the sort of poor, forgotten cousin. And I used to basically use it like a Muppet and like use the disk drive and have it talk and sing.
Right.
And now PAL Dreamcast is the sort of CGI AI generated new equivalent to that.
So this is what I've got to tell you, right? So our PAL Dreamcast, because you kind of showed that off, someone got in contact with me and they said, look, can we kind of do an appearance on this stream where Pez is coming on? And I was like, look, I don't really want to set Pez up. I don't want to bring you on and kind of
a gotcha moment.
It may, quite possibly. So you want to make sure you're looking at the Discord screen and not the Fightcade screen, so you can see my actual screen, right? Oh, hold on, no, yeah. Hold on. What are you seeing on the Discord screen? Let me make sure that I am showing you the right thing. So let me bear with us, guys. We're very, very unprofessional here.
It's all right.
Are you seeing?
Oh no!
I need to show you my other screen. Bear with me. I am going to stop sharing that for a second. Sorry about this, guys. Very unprofessional as we're doing this on the fly, right? So, Pez, I need to give you the entire screen on the other side, right? And then you can see my OBS
stream running in the corner as well.
Yeah, you know what? That might be. Yeah, that will be a few seconds behind. So, hopefully, are you now seeing OBS? If you're seeing OBS, then we're good. You're seeing OBS, right? Okay, so you've got my PAL Dreamcast. And somebody got in touch and they said, look, because of my PAL Dreamcast, and he went into his darker Dreamcast that he got modded. So this over here is Darth Dreamcast and his buddy Pad01.
Excellent. I love it.
So they got in touch and that is Pad01. Sounds like Padawan, but it's Pad0 and then 1. So Darth Dreamcast was very upset that you relegated your PAL Dreamcast to just a Muppet, and he went into the blackness, and he came out as Darth Dreamcast with his buddy Padawan, the little Ewok popping out of the VMU hole. So I haven't got a voice changer on, and I don't want to say that I am your father because it's not going to sound good. So we're going to put Darth DC, but he may randomly just pop up from time to time. Fantastic. And goodbye Pad01. But in the meantime, let's give Bad Dudes a.
You've also got, I think, a new Disney Plus series on your hands here as well. I reckon if you write off to Disney Plus. I mean, they're making Star Wars shows about anything at the minute.
Yeah, I haven't even kept up. You know, I watched like. What did I watch? Obviously, Mandalorian's great. And I just finished watching like Narcos, the original one, before moving over to Mexico. And every time I hear Pedro Pascal, all I think is Mandalorian. So, yeah, man, like, so I know there's some, I do want to watch some of them, to be honest. But yeah, I will need to get around to that. I just don't have Disney Plus at the moment. So I may have to borrow a friend's login. I think we need to
put if you want to put your Disney Plus passwords in the chat, I'm sure that we'll all take advantage of that.
We can do that. Who said Choplifter? Someone said Choplifter. I don't know if you would have. That was before my time, man. So I think we need to do buttons. I need to do my buttons on this one. So you're going to see here, and very easy to do your inputs in here. Let's make sure, because they didn't. Okay, I must have been playing with a different controller. So what you can do on this as well, Pez, is you can save your presets. So what you can do is, like for example, with Capcom. You can tell it save the presets, and it should save it for every single Capcom game. So if we go save preset, that should be there now. And let's make it full screen, and let's do a little bit of, here we go, Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja. Come at me when you're ready. We want to save the president, and yeah, here we are.
It looks like it's working. Brilliant.
Wow, I mean, it's such a great program. And to be honest, I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm on Wi-Fi 6, not Wi-Fi 7, but it generally seems to do a good job. And I've got to run a long cable across the hall, and you know, I've got kids and a mum with dementia, so I don't like leaving it there in case to get like, you know, a really, really good interruption-free connection. I'm potentially running a hazard in my corridor, so it's a balance. I very rarely bring out the cable. Everyone has to be out for me to do that. Really funny thing here, if I need a parents out here. So yesterday, and this is a point of concern, I'll make humor of it, but it is a serious issue. So my son, who's 10, he's going to be 11 soon. He said to me, Dad, one of my legs is longer than the other. I was like, what? Since when? He goes, 2 days, maybe 5. I was like, what are you talking about? So then I looked at his leg, and one leg is about an inch longer than the other. And I was like, why didn't you tell me sooner? When did it happen? He goes, like 5 days. And his sister drops him to school when she goes to college. And she says, yeah, he's been walking, he's been limping for the last week. I said, why didn't you tell us? Because obviously I'm at work. I see him when I come home. My wife never really picked up on it either. So we're going to make a doctor's appointment. And I'm really fortunate that my cousin is my GP. So I called her straight away last night, and she said, look, just call me on Monday. I'll make the appointment. He'll have to go physio, and hopefully it'll get resolved. But that was a really weird one. Obviously, me and the wife are concerned, but it's not life-threatening or anything like that. But I'm just hoping it's where his legs do just kind of grow normal at some point.
Might be just a growth spurt or something, you know, a growth spurt has not gone at the same time.
Maybe he's just eating too much on, I don't know, the food's getting to the left leg instead of the right leg, I don't know. But there's a visible difference there. So when he's walking, he's obviously naturally adjusting by bending one of his knees. So just not something we picked up on, man. And he says it happened 5 days ago. But honestly, I don't know how one leg can grow. One leg can grow one leg can grow an inch in 5 days. It just doesn't. No. I mean, that's some super growth there. But yeah, hopefully we'll get it seen and get some physio done. That's one thing about my new job as well, man. Every time there's an appointment, I have to keep booking annual leave, man. Whereas my previous job was shift. So when there's appointments, I would always book them for days I was off during the week or kind of night. So never mind. I am enjoying my new job. It just means. Gone.
All part of the fun of being a dad, though, isn't it? All their sort of medical appointments and worries and stresses.
Absolutely.
And something I'm new to over the last year. Absolutely.
So, like, my eldest is 16, then 10 and 9. Actually, one turned 9 recently. So, yeah, I'm used to it. Obviously, at any point, something random can happen. A friend of mine, actually, in fact, recently, like a few months ago, the school contacted him and they said, look, your daughter is saying there's a stone in her ear. Can you please come? So he rushed, he left work, went there, and he was like, what happened? She goes, yeah, Dad, there's a stone in my ear. So they had to take her A&E and everything, and they managed to get it out without surgery and everything. And then they asked her, the dad asked her, he said, like, why did you put the stone in she put the stone in her ear herself, and he said, look, why did you put the stone in your ear? And she responded and said, because it was in my shoe. And as a parent, you can understand that, because the kids stepping on a stone, it's in their shoe, they don't want to litter, they don't know where to put it, so they end up putting it in their ear. It's just a very, very kiddie thing to do, when you're a parent, you can understand that logic. So
kid logic, yeah.
It is absolutely crazy. Oh, we got some other people in chat as well. We got Apley, we got Spitfire RAF 100, Spitfire RAF 100. Arcade Karen really likes him, man. I think there could be like a pairing or a bit of dating there, She really doesn't like Johnny Bananas, and that's something that kind of upset me a bit, because I really like Johnny Bananas, right? Johnny Bananas is Dr. Johnny Bananas, I should say, is a very, very cool guy, a long-time supporter of the channel. But yeah, she just likes RAF Spitfire. Unfortunately, Karen's not here. Maybe we can. I wonder. Shall we try and Pet? Shall we try and get Arcade Karen, or would you prefer she stays away?
Well, you know what? I think when we agreed this stream, I made it very clear that I wanted exclusivity as a guest. That was one of the only things I asked for. However, I'm a reasonable man, and so I'm willing to. Clearly you've put me on the spot now. If I say no, everybody's going to think I'm a diva, and so I'm going to have to say yes. But we'll have words afterwards, if that makes sense.
Get me your manager. She is popped on. She is lovely. Arcade Karen at her finest. Okay, so let's move you around a little bit, Karen. Where are you? Why can't I move you around? Oh, here you are. You're the whole screen. Okay, so yeah, there you go. You're kind of looking good there. And yeah, we are good. Okay, so Arcade Karen, we're going to put you away. Don't be too angry. You're definitely going to get to do a few more appearances. That's cool. Absolutely cool. So you feel free to exit this and run into any other game that you want to see and you kind of want to talk about. So we have got a couple of special guests, but I promise you, Pez, we'll keep them in the background. I really like Arcade Karen. I mean, you know, she is the coin op queen, you know. But Coin Up Queen, Arcade Karen, absolutely amazing. And at some point, we're going to have to start bringing in managers because, you know, she keeps demanding the manager. And this only so long I can put off a manager before I have to bring the manager forward. This is an amazing boss, by the way.
This is why there is just an entire bowl of blue M&Ms in the green room before the stream.
Alrighty, okay. So, wow, come, take him out, take him out. You can do it. You can do it. Look at that. Pez is wicked at arcade games, man.
But this is the first time I've played this, by the way.
Really? I don't believe you.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. This has been on MiSTer for ages.
I know, but it wasn't a favourite on MiSTer. I think I played it and
okay.
I think I died early on. I never gave it much of a go, but.
Yeah,
anyway, MiSTer's not about playing games. MiSTer's about firmware updates and curating ROMs. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, adding everything on there and not playing it. That's what we do. I think my handheld PCs are for that. I end up just doing stuff with them and to be honest, when I finish everything and I go to bed and I'm like, let me play something on the Steam Deck, I just fall asleep. Many a times with a Steam Deck on top of my head.
We've done him.
Yeah.
We've done him.
Good soundtrack.
How about Alien versus Predator? How do you feel about that?
Let's go. Yeah, man. Just go on to it. I'll go on to that. That's a great game. Available for here we go. It's there. Alien versus Predator. And guys, if you haven't tried out Fightcade, you really should try out Fightcade. You know, really should try out Fightcade. It is that amazing. And I mainly use it to play. Someone's Pez has challenged me. I am going to accept. Right, let's do this and hopefully it's got some kind of button. Oh, okay, what's going on here? Oh, it's saying it's got some missing ROM data. That's weird. Oh no, it's working. It's working.
Running anyway. Yeah.
Yep. Are we in a 2-player game? Hopefully we are.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are. Yeah. Cool. All right, let's run with it. So with Fightcade, it starts you in a 2-player game. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wanted to be her.
Who you being?
I'm going to be the lady. Yeah, Lynn. Here we go. Hopefully the buttons are done. I felt like there was no response to the buttons there. Such an amazing game. Look at that. So I never
don't feel
played
like
this
we
in the
get
arcade.
enough of Lynn's backstory. I want to know more about Lynn.
Oh, I'm going to have to do buttons. Let me get some. To be honest, you know, I never focus on any of the stories, man. I just don't.
Yeah. Are you mapping buttons rapidly as well?
I am, yeah. I'm doing it really quickly. Okay. So hopefully that's done. Oh, Lynn's gone. Wow, Lynn got beat, sir.
Oh gosh,
there we go. Can't remember to just super recharging this. Oh, I need to. Sorry, I just realised I need to make it full screen. The viewers are having a bad screen there.
So what was the first arcade game you ever played then?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I honestly can't remember. So when we say first game we played, I remember as a kid, like going into, you know, when I was out with my parents, we'd go to like a cab station and my parents wouldn't put any money in the games. Or you'd go to the airport. Do you remember going to the airport to picking up like your uncle that came over and you're supposed to know him and like him, but you just didn't know the guy. And family would go over. You'd go over to the airport. They'd have games there. So it was stuff like, I remember Pac-Man. I remember seeing Pac-Man playing, not playing Pac-Man, but pretending to play the arcade machines because my parents didn't put any money in. Then it would have been that kind of era because I would have been like definitely under the age of 6 when this stuff came out. So I was just there. I was fascinated by all this stuff. And I don't know, one of the first games I remember putting a lot of money in was actually Double Dragon. There was probably other games that I did put money in, but one that I remember when I had pocket money and I was kind of going out, Double Dragon was one of those games. It was tough. I even got beaten up one day from my mum for playing Double Dragon. and it was my fault. I deserved it. I've told the story before on stream, but I'll say the quick version. So in the UK, for anyone that's unfamiliar, back in like the late 80s, 90s, we had coins, and the 10 pence coin was pretty much the same size as a 50 pence coin, just a slight difference in the size. So if you had them in your pocket, you could quite easily confuse one for the other. One was round and one was 5 sides. What's that? Pentagonal. So
yeah, pentagonal.
Was it pentagonal? Is that
it is,
right?
yeah,
okay. Yeah. And so what happened was, whenever my mum gave me money for shopping, I was always siphoning 10 or 20p out of it, or 20p to get myself some arcade gameplay. And I remember I had to buy potatoes that day, and whatever happened, I was like, wicked, I've got 20p spare here and I can go home with the potatoes. So I went into this chip shop. They had Double Dragon in there. I was like, wicked, I'm going to play me some Double Dragon. And I went to put two 10p pieces in, but by accident, I put in a 10p and a 50p. So, which meant I got free credits, because 50p for free credits, 20p for one. I used the free credits. I had like 20p left in my pocket because the potatoes were 60p, and I couldn't get the potatoes. So I thought, well, I can get another credit for 10p. So I put another 10p in, spent 70, thought, well, I'm going to get beats now anyway. And yeah, I did get beats when I go home, because I went home with 10p and no potatoes. And I genuinely, I deserved it. I deserved that beating. That was completely the wrong thing to do. You know, it was, yeah, I was a kid.
And that also explains why your autobiography is called 10p and no potatoes, which is, you know, I skimmed through it. I never got to that chapter, so it's good to know. That's the history of it.
I have to say, it's not an autobiography; it's a biography. Someone else wrote it for me, man. I'm too lazy to do that stuff.
It's unauthorized, and tell-all biography from written by a Track 17.
Oh wow. Yeah, what we got in chat? Okay, we got Mo M in chat. Philly's in the house. Yeah, oh, Philly's saying, welcome back, Mr. Pez. You have the best YouTube intro ever. You do, man. Dude, how long did that intro take you to make? Because, you know,
gosh,
must have taken you some time.
Took me the best part, well, on and off, because obviously I have got a full-time job and a family I've got to kind of look after. But I put about a couple of weeks worth into that.
Wow.
Enjoying every minute of it, by the way.
It's amazing. So if we're talking hours, how many hours?
Hours-wise, it probably took about 8 hours to do an intro that's about 2 minutes long. Okay.
No, that's fair enough, because that's the truth. Because you can say you spent two weeks doing it, but you could either spend 30 minutes a day 2 weeks, or you can spend 10 hours a day 2 weeks. That's not. I feel like given how many hours you spend is a more accurate measurement of exactly how much time and effort it took.
But also because it was I suppose the first video that I'd done after a big long gap of doing any kind of video editing. It was trying to remember how to use Power Director and how to, like, you know, put in like all those little functions that sort of become second nature. It's unbelievable. It's not like riding a bike. How, you know, video editing, if you don't do it for a bit, you completely fall out of
no, I get that.
Fall out of practice with it.
Definitely. And I mean, I use, my video editing isn't like, definitely not to your standard. It's very, very simple. I use Shotcut. People always tell me go DaVinci. I've used Shotcut. It's free. It's open source. I'm happy with it. It's good enough for the stuff that I do. You know, if I want to go into some real good editing, and to be honest, when I looked at your one and now I see some other videos out there, I'm like, wow, that really does look amazing. And one question. Who done the singing, man? Was that you?
No, you know what? The singing is the power of AI. So
really?
I used So the lyrics were written by me, but the actual music and the singing was done by an AI program called Suno.
Right. Okay.
Which basically put in the lyrics and then sort of wrote a prompt to. I just said I want a operatic news theme, tongue in cheek, really over the top, with stabs and all this kind of stuff in it. And it went and I created sort of 5 different versions of it. And that was the version that I sort of settled on. But there are some sort of B-roll versions for at some point I might put out the the ones I turned down because they were also had some quite, but that was the version that sounded the most over the top.
That was it. It was cool. It was very, very cool. Almost reminds me of Sparks. Remember that band Sparks? This town's not big enough for the two of us.
Exactly.
I was like, wicked. All right.
But I just wanted the bombastic nature of it. But yeah, I mean, I suppose we should talk about my arcade nostalgia.
Absolutely. So why don't you bring the game on, bring it on screen, and talk about it. We don't necessarily have to play it. It can be in a track mode. So let's do some of your nostalgia. What was the first game that you played? And hopefully we have got it on Fightcade. So
I'm hoping we do. Let's have a look. Let's come out of this.
Fightcade is good.
So we are going to have a look at the arcade version of Pac-Land.
Okay. I know that's a favorite. A big shout out to Terminator 2K2 and Big Al. I know those two love that game as well. But yeah, let's.
Absolutely. Let me just go into that one.
Is it Pac-Land or is it
Pac-Land World, and it's Arcade FC2, I think.
Oh yeah. FC2 is definitely the version we won. Right. Okay. So let's. You're there. Right. Let's challenge you.
Accept. Here we go. So we are up and running, I think. Here we go.
Yep. Let's. So I'm gonna let you just kind of play this. So. Oh, okay. Is it? I've just got a white screen here. Oh, okay. So maybe.
Shall I challenge you, and we'll come back in?
Yeah, go on then. Go for it. Go for it.
Right. Okay.
Right, let's go. And hopefully it runs because I just got a white screen. Yo, Chris's Retro Gaming is in the house. He's actually watching. I heard Pez mention it before. Yeah, Pez loves it. Right, okay. Let's just see. Sorry if I'm blinding you guys. I'm a dark theme guy, and I've probably like wiped someone out into oblivion now with this white screen, and Pac-Land isn't. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, imagine if they're watching it on the on YouTube with the HDR settings.
That's burning my eyes already. You know what? Do you know what we will do? Hold on. What I can do, Pez? I think I got RetroArch installed yet? Let me check my D drive. Sorry guys, I got a new PC. I have got RetroArch on here, so I haven't kind of put a shortcut for it, but I should. Hopefully I just did a copy of my last version. Let me just find the executable. Where are you? And here we go. I've got it. Let me link it down here as well. That's cool. Okay, so we've got RetroArch, and you can talk about. Maybe I can bring it up on screen via this. Okay, so and hopefully the attract mode is enough for. I could play. I'm not the biggest fan of the game, right? So there's a few versions here. If you let me show you my other screen. Right, okay. So do we want Pac-Land? Let me show you guys. Okay, let me bring the screen up. All right, so you can see that. So we've got Pac-Land Bally Midway, and then we've got Japan New, Japan Old. Which one do you want to go for?
Let's go for the Midway one.
Midway one, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And what I will do is, wicked, that's running. Oh, the sound might be really loud. I'll need to go in and let me go into my audio mixer. Where are you? RetroArch. Here we go. RetroArch, and put the sound right down. Hopefully that will do it. Right. So the people at home can see Pac-Land. We've got the attract mode here. I might just run a game and you can comment. But what I will do is I will just head over to the Discord and let me just swap the screen. So if we go here, and I think I've ended that. Right. So if I go window, and where are you? RetroArch. Right. So I'll share the RetroArch window, and hopefully you can see Pac-Land now.
That.
Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that's good, guys. So guys, we're doing a lot of stuff on the fly, and it's kind of a little bit difficult to keep it in your head, because if you cancel the wrong thing, you could potentially destroy the wrong source. But we are trying over here, so thank you for bearing with us. Right. So I'll play it. Tell your story about Pac-Land. Prepare for
my story. Okay. Well, hang on to your boots for this one. So Yeah, I think I was 2 years old when I played Pac-Lan, so really was going all the way back. Well, I must have been 2 years old because actually I couldn't have been any younger because it came out in 1984. And those of you who are alert in the chat will realise, hang on, Pez 82. I wonder if the 82 comes from the year he was born. Yes, it does. And so it was a fish and chip shop in Leicestershire where I live, and I still live. And they had an arcade machine in there, and I think whilst you go in on the fish and chips on a Friday night, and obviously sometimes you had to wait because there was a big queue. But 1980s fish and chip shops up and down the land realised that this was an opportunity to make money and brought in some arcade machines, and the one that we frequented had Pac-Lan. So yeah, it was a stage of, I was only 2 years old. My dad had to pick me up so that I could reach the controls. He put the 10p or 20p or whatever it was into the machine to play it, and it was the first video game that I ever played, and absolutely loved it up until the point where you get to the large swimming pool that you've got to jump over, which my 2-year-old hands were incapable of waggling the stick fast enough to get over the pool. So at that point I would sort of squeal and make my dad take over, and he'd get me over the pool. So it was it's I suppose for me it's memorable because it's that original kind of falling in love with video games, but it's also a memory of sort of bonding with my dad as well, which is, so it's got a double whammy. But I think from there, it was only in the fish and chip shop for a small period of time because I think they probably had them on rotation, and after a while Pac-Lan was taken away and it was replaced by the Capcom shooter 1942.
Okay.
You played those, Pixel?
Yeah,
presumably?
I've played them. I played one of them on the C64, not really in the arcade.
Yeah.
I have to say, yes, as for a 2-year-old, wiggling that stick must have been difficult. I have to say, when
Yeah.
it came to stick wiggling, I got really good once I hit puberty.
I see what you did there. That's an innuendo.
Absolutely not. Because I played Decathlon pre-puberty and I got myself a blister on the Atari 800.
You were polishing your spokes, as they say.
I was polishing something.
So no, and then I think from there I went down the same sort of route as you, because you've just mentioned the fact that you had a C64 growing up, and I was a C64 lad as well. So I think when I was 3 years old, that was my Christmas present, was a C64, and I came down the stairs Christmas morning. And
how old were you when you got the C64?
Sorry,
how old were you when you got the C64? Did you say?
3.
Oh wow, man! Your parents started
3
you
years
early,
old.
darn man.
Absolutely, yeah. So it was like it was sort of late 80s. I would guess it'd be 87, 88 sort of time. 3 years old. We had to. It wasn't actually my first. Well, it wasn't the first computer in the house. My dad had a Acorn Electron. You know, the sort of stripped down version of the BBC Micro.
Okay.
Yeah, which it was like a poor man's BBC Micro, but it didn't have the BBC branding on it, but it played a lot of the same sort of software. It had the same sort of feel as a BBC Micro, and so we had that for a short period of time. Here you go. You're going over the swimming pool now.
I can't wiggle like I did in my early puberty days. I'm an old man now. There you go.
You've lost your wiggle.
I need Viagra drops so I can look hard. Right. Okay. I just remember the game. I remember the game, and we're gonna look at that game. Let's see if it's on Fightcade. We're gonna return back to Fightcade. Look for a game called Last Duel. So let me turn this screen off. I'm pretty sure it's called Last Duel. So. You know, we'll go into a little bit of a story on this, but this was a really cool game, and I'm sure it's called Last Duel. Yeah, this is it. Let's well, Pej, you're super quick. You're just in there, man.
Don't mess about, mate.
Yeah,
I'm here.
man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right. Okay.
I'm a pro.
Oh yeah, 100%. Let's just hope this game works, because our systems may not be the pros. Oh, by the way, all the replays of this are saved. Yeah. So if you go Fightcade replays, what's going on with this?
Yeah.
Why have I got a tiny little image?
It's a vertical shooter, isn't it? So it's
okay. So let's see if we can change one of the options. Stretch, full stretch. Nah, still not there. Okay, that's. No, I'm not getting. I don't know why it's not doing that. Okay, so let's go correct aspect ratio. Ooh, and what happens if I go full screen? Right, that's not right. Sorry, guys. It's really wanted to show you this game because it's a fairly awesome game. Let me see if I bring it over. Right, okay. Can't really go too much in this game. There's one vehicle was a racing kind of vehicle that you could jump in and shoot, and the other was a flying vehicle made by Capcom. And this was in our school in like a youth center that they had for the older kids, for the sixth form, or like the college side of it, or the sixth form side of it. But our school was really cool. We could go in there and play this on our lunch. So we suspend whatever we had left of any lunch money on this game. But oh, you know what? Sorry, I just realized I can run it in. Why not run it in RetroArch? So
Yeah,
why not run it in RetroArch? So let's bring my screen up again. And this is one that when I do a core wish list, it's always like I really wish we can get this game. Surprised it hasn't been done, to be honest, because it is a Capcom game, and you know, Hatego usually ends up doing a lot of Capcom stuff. So let's have a look here. Hopefully it will run it at something that looks. Here we go. Right. Okay. Sorry, Pej, you're not going to play, but I will make it very, very quick on this.
Right.
And so I remember looking at that little car at the beginning, and it was fantastic. So if you remember the attract mode, there was the helicopter, so you could get the power-ups, you know, as you normally do. You can jump. Naturally, it felt easier with the flying ship because you didn't have traps and things in the way that you had to jump over. Or if you're just bad like me, like going on the edge. But what was really cool, we had this in our school. So essentially we could go there lunchtime and play it. It was a different time back then. You know, the little kids could go into like the big kids youth club. They used to be playing pool there. It was very difficult to get a game of pool. But these games were kind of left alone. I think at that time, the 16-year-olds, they were more into some other stuff. Pool, girls. They had like a weights bench in there as well. But right, okay, let me get out of this. But yeah, this is last year.
I feel like I went to the wrong school.
It was a good school, you know. It was a good school. I liked the school. I didn't learn a lot, but I got to play video games and learn criminal stuff. No, in my school, the learning was for those that actually wanted to go out and learn. If you weren't bothered about learning, they didn't really push you. So in some ways, a bad school. But hey, I had a lot of fun. Right, what shit? Anything you want to pick on Fightcade?
I once installed the original Mega Drive emulator Gems installed on the school intranet when I was about 16, 17 years old.
Oh,
and they
wow.
just opened a brand new computer lab, and they were really sort of proud of this computer lab. And it was the day of the Ofsted inspection.
Oh wow!
And they were showing around the Ofsted inspectors, you know, their school, and sort of showing them. Walked into this computer lab, and literally every single screen in that computer lab have Streets of Rage 2 running on Gems.
Oh, that's really good. That's the best bit. That's the best brawler. So
it was, and it was, and they weren't too happy about it, and that's how I got banned from the intranet at my school.
Oh wow. Should we do Alpha 3? I know we mentioned that, so you can tell us a little bit about your Alpha 3 stories. Alpha 3, which one? Which is, here we go. Which is the normal one? There's a few different ones that come up. So
let's go for the first one that's come up is the Street Fighter Alpha 3 98009.
Is it the upper one? Oh no, that's Flycast.
One,
okay, yeah. Which one we've got? Hold on. What are you searching for? Alpha or 0?
Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, with
the
120. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's with like 127 people in the room. So a popular game. Let's
see if we can get on. Well,
yeah,
I'll challenge you, and then you.
Yeah, go for it, man. I'm in the room.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm waiting. You gonna challenge me, or shall I challenge you?
Yeah, I've got you challenged.
Nice. Okay, so what?
Excellent.
Ooh,
right.
Okay.
I'm going to be really boring and choose Ryu.
Oh, I'm going to be super boring and actually try and do my buttons again. I think the issue is I play on a lot of different controllers, so I end up. Sorry guys, you probably can't see the screen because I'm not sharing my screen and just the window, but I am doing my buttons. It's fairly streamlined the way you do it. Right. Hopefully that will do all the Capcom games now. Ooh, who am I?
Are you nugging me?
I am nugging you, man. I'm Ken. All right, cool.
So I think, for my money, the Street Fighter Alpha games are the best Street Fighter games.
I don't know. I prefer
I'll die
Alpha
on that
2.
hill. Yeah, Street Fighter Alpha 2 in particular, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that's my favourite one out of the Alpha series.
Yeah. But in general, the Alpha series, I think, is the best.
I definitely like the graphics
never
for it. I think the graphics are fantastic. Really, really good. So
and I think I came into the Alpha series on the Sega Saturn.
Okay.
I never played. I don't think I played them the arcade versions, but the Sega Saturn versions are absolutely superb. I think they're basically arcade perfect. And then from there, I ended up spending far too much money on a consoleized CPS2, and I sort of regret it because it was about 2 months after I'd bought the CPS2 that the CPS2 Mr. Core came out.
Definitely.
And I thought, there's a grand down the drain that I'm never going to see again. But it had the is it the Dark Soft modded board that could play all of every single CPS game, and the actual CPS board. By the way, you've just kicked my ass on this, so well done.
Oh, thank you.
But I think it was just a case of it was really nice to be able to play the original arcade version of it.
Was it F2 to reset? really don't like Ken in this game. Well, thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now the Dark Soft stuff. Did you have to flash the Dark Soft each time you wanted to play a different game, or were you picking stuff out of a menu?
Yeah. So to swap games, you basically you had like a little handheld device that was plugged into the bottom board, and it had like a couple of buttons on it where you could scroll through what games were on the SD card inside. And then when you chose a game, it would take probably about between 30 seconds and a minute to flash the game to the board. So it wasn't super quick, but you were playing the original arcade version of that CPS2 game. Really good. And then I had that whole device HDMI modded later on.
Wow.
And that along with the rest of my collection went on eBay or got sold elsewhere to pay for my wedding.
Wow. Nice.
So
there was some value in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had a good wedding, put it that way. But it was one of those where I think when I was covering Mister on my channel originally, it was very much I liked making videos about Mister, but I very, very rarely used it because I had such a big, extensive collection of original hardware and every possible console modded, every arcade boards, all the rest of it. And it got to the point where I was like, well, actually, you know what? I wasn't really playing games very much. I was, I was spending every living moment working, and it was more just to have it as a collection rather than actually to play on them. And when it came to obviously paying for a wedding, I thought, yeah, this has got to go because I've got Mister, I'm not going to lose anything. And actually, since I sold it all, it paid for my wedding, and I don't really feel that I've lost very much as far as. Because Mister is so good, I can still play all of these things, and I can I've got the memories of owning them as well.
No, the reason I got into Mister, I was in the process of buying a CPS2 board with Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but then all the additional cost that was involved in there, I would have had to get a CRT, and then when I played this around my friend's house on a Mister, and I played Super Turbo, it felt identical to the arcade. So it was like, okay, you know what? I don't need to get that. And I haven't looked back since. Absolutely amazing device.
I think people got to be careful about the way they spit. You often hear Mister spoken about with sort of accuracy, don't you? People talk about, it's super accurate, it's accurate. And actually, you know what? Emulation can be very, very accurate as well. And it's not about accuracy. It's about latency. It's about that's the main
thing that got me into it. It was the input latency above everything else, because some of the differences in these games I can't tell them. No. There's some players that are very good at Street Fighter, and they'll be like, look, we can notice this one frame out every 10 minutes or something. I'm not like that, but it was because even with run ahead, you're dropping frames, so it felt a little bit off. And the MiSTer, just that latency is gone. So that's when someone goes, look, it's not super accurate. We're like, okay, but to me, it feels accurate.
I don't care. Yeah, it's the feel. Yeah, it's the fact you can use it on a CRT television and it actually feels how it felt. And also, I think we have to remember where like people have different sensitivities, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So there's going to be some people who deal with you know, emulation and go, you know what, I'm happy with emulation. I'm playing this tonight and I'm having a whale of a time. Apart from the fact that you're absolutely kicking my butt on this, but you know, for the most part, some of these games are games that I've never really put that much time into. I'm not going to be bothered about whether it's emulation or not. But for games that I really do care about, it was, you know, going back to my time playing on those emulators back on the original Xbox, it was great playing those old games, but there was something amiss. There was something wrong. It wasn't quite what I remembered. And I think that's where MiSTer sort of bridges that gap, because you get that it looks like what you remember it being, but also now it feels like what you remember it being as well.
Absolutely.
And that I think is what I don't think any of us really do a good enough job explaining. And I think it's something that, but actually for some people, maybe they're lucky enough that, I tell you what, if they don't need that, if they pick up an emulator, if they pick up something off AliExpress for 30 quid and it does the job and they're happy with it,
mate, good.
I'm actually quite jealous.
Yeah,
good for you. You know what? I've spent far too much money trying to, because it's not good enough for me. If it's good enough for you, brilliant. You know what? I'm bloody jealous because I didn't then have to go and buy all that original stuff again or spend the hundreds of pounds on MiSTer and all the accessories, etc. But no, it's there's no, as they say, there's no wrong way to play as long as people are having
absolutely
fun. I think that's the main thing.
Like my brother, I gave him like a $20 emulation handheld, like a screen and a SNES controller, and he loves it. He can't tell. And you know, it's like the Matrix. If the steak, you know, tastes good and feels real, then cool, like go for it.
Exactly. And I did wonder why the original MiSTer came with the blue and the red pill that you had to choose, but now it all makes sense.
Absolutely. So yeah, and that's the main thing. Like you said, hit it on the head. It is that the lack of input lag. Now, I for example, I've got a few Android devices. So what I do, I've got like the Retroid Pocket 5, which is actually a decent device, but I'll use it to capture content sometimes. Now I'm playing a particular game, I'm like, wow, like I'm doing really crap on this. And the reason I'm doing crap is because of that added latency, and you don't necessarily, you can just feel it that it's off. Now I'll play that game on the Analogue Pocket or like the MiSTer, and I'll be like, okay, I can actually still play this game to a decent extent. And you know, you get battered because of the latency. And when you play, especially, I'll tell you another genre, there's fighters, but since getting the MiSTer, one thing, another genre that I think is just amazing with it is shmups. Shmups just feel completely different on here, you know, snappy,
especially your sort of cave shooters, you know, bullet hell type shooters where the entire screen is full of things you've got to navigate around. I don't think you've got a cat and mouse chance of being able to do that when you've got input latency going on. So yeah, I agree.
And even like I speak to some like heavy shmup players, and they're like, look, it needs to be played on hardware because on emulation it ends up just being too fast. So
then I suppose it raises the question though of where we go from here, as far as, you know, as larger FPGAs become available, as, you know, whatever the next generation of FPGA device comes on, where they are a device that where you can start to think of it being able to do something like Dreamcast or PS2 eventually, is actually, will there be diminishing returns because those systems are maybe not as twitchy? Maybe they started to be, you know, in that era where the sort of first generation of flat screen televisions came in, that themselves had quite a lot of latency anyway. So game design changed to be less reliant on them being that input lag was less important. Do you think that there will be, I suppose, less noticeable difference at the point where we get to something like a Dreamcast or a PS2 core?
So on like like the Android device, like I'm quite happy playing PlayStation 2 and GameCube stuff on there. I'm a big fan of Dolphin. I think it's a great emulator. However, if it's a fighting game on there, then no, it doesn't work. But 3D games have no issues. I don't feel the lag. You know, I don't feel the lag on it. They feel playable to me. They feel good to me. So I'm actually okay with emulation. There's only one reason I want a Dreamcast core, Naomi core, and that's for the fighters that are on Naomi, like CVS1. Really, the main one I want is Capcom versus SNK 2. I know people can say go and buy a Dreamcast, but if I want to buy a Dreamcast, I've got to get either arcade sticks or I've got to get a Brook board with compatible, make them compatible. Then, you know, I don't always have a CRT around. I need a HDMI mod. By the time I've done that, honestly, I'd rather just wait for a next generation FPGA console. It is just one game that I need to play.
Yeah, I suppose. And the other thing, I suppose, with emulation on those systems is you get all of the enhancements with 3D games as well. You can start to sort of, you know, upscale stuff to 4K and, you know, internally render those 3D games at much higher resolutions as well. And again, it's like, well, it might be, even if there was a FPGA solution out for Dreamcast and PlayStation, you would maybe pick which games you use which solution for, because I mean, I was playing, I think it might have even been on Fightcade. I was sort of playing Dead or Alive 2 with sort of internal rendering at 4K, and it looks phenomenal. And actually, if you were offering me an FPGA core that was output in 480p, I'd still probably rather play that on emulation, I think.
Right, got ya. I need to do some of that, man. My new PC can handle that now, so I can go in the realm of like some super upscaling. So I've definitely enjoyed like N64 Perfect Dark. Like I think I only upscaled it to 1080p, but it looks really good. So maybe this time I can do like 4K.
Have you used DuckStation?
I have, yeah. I've used it. I haven't used it recently. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, so that's usually the best way to play it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been messing around with DuckStation recently, and especially on some of those 3D games. It's nothing like the original. It gives you you know, if you are a purist, it would be a case of going, well, you know, that's what you've got your original hardware for. That's what you've got your MiSTerCore for. But actually, if you want to just see what, you know, a PlayStation 1.5 version of Metal Gear Solid might have looked like if it had been running on slightly more capable hardware or something that had a Z buffer, then it's actually it gives those games a new lease of life.
No, completely, and in some, like you said, in some ways it improves them. It makes them a better experience over the original. Unless you want that original nostalgia and you want to play it like that. You know, if it's a game you haven't played and you wanted to play, you might as well play the upscaled version of it. But what's your kind of game? And while you pick your game, the Alpha 3, I used to play it single player only. When I used to go and get a takeaway, I used to do a lot of nightclub work. So when I got a takeaway, while the Chinese were preparing it, 10 minutes, I used to go in the arcade and play either Alpha 3 or Marvel vs. Capcom 1 against the CPU, never against the humans. So that was my my thing on that. But yeah, what game do you wanna
Well, should we try it? Should we try Dead or Alive 2?
Well,
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, we can. It's gonna be it's gonna be a Dreamcast one, but yeah, we can do it. Hopefully I can. Here we go, Dead or Alive 2. Let's see. I think I've got the games. If not, it looks like it's kind of doing something for me. So what we'll do, let's go.
You might have to map your controls. I think I've mapped my controls.
Right, we'll do it. Everyone.
Yeah,
we do that. Right, you'll have to. I know this game's like rock paper scissors, isn't it? It's like block, attack, and parry, isn't it? So. Yeah. It is that. Hopefully it will run for me. So yeah, these are decent games. I've liked Dead or Alive. Do you know what I really used to like? So you know what to do? Set the delay to 1. That's what I'm setting it to. It's just 1 frame of delay. We are in the same country, so it should be all right. It should tell us at the beginning. Did you do that thing already? Right, let me close that.
I jumped out because I didn't set it to 1. Here we go.
No, I think the default might be 1, unless obviously.
Okay.
We've done that right.
Default is.
So, should we do a button check? Okay, my buttons are okay, you know? My buttons are good.
Okay, cool.
So, menu tab, how do we go back out? How do I exit this button check thing? Oh, press or menu or tab to exit, okay. I'm pressing tab. Okay, really weird.
I've got starting network.
I don't know how to get out of this, man. I've got. Okay, sorry, Pez. We're gonna have to just challenge me again, and I know my buttons are working, so we'll just go straight into the game. And hopefully it will run. Right, so start. Okay, allow it. Okay, starting network is saying now. Oh wow, okay, it's running. Yeah, I need to. That's fine. Let me go to my volume mixer, and we need to find Flycast. Just turn that down. There you go. Put it down to 5. That's cool.
There we go. Right.
Do I need to press start or something? Oh, I do. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Where's my boy Ryu Hayabusa? Oh, here he is. Okay, cool. I really like this on the 3DS. Oh, okay. Is it?
Yeah, I remember the 3DS version of this. It was class. It was really good.
Yeah, 3DS version was good. You could play it online as well.
There were some good fighting games on the 3DS. Actually, I quite like the Street Fighter 4.
It was a good version. It was a good version. Some of the combos didn't work, or some of the juggles didn't work, and it was weird because of the way the console was. I had to use a touchscreen to do like the focus.
But you had shortcuts, didn't you, on the bottom of the,
so I'd do a combo, then I'd press that to do like to do a certain move, and then continue with it. And I had to play it on the analog stick instead of the D-pad as well. So, what's the? I feel like I only have one button here, but hey, this is running decently as well. But yes, that Street Fighter game was a launch game. So I think when I got my 3DS, so I got Street Fighter and I bought Ridge Racer as well. I think they were launch games. But then there was a drought, man, for the 3DS. Great console, but when it came out, man, it just weren't that many good games coming out for it. And then
it grew into it, didn't it? Because obviously the 3DS. It had that sort of 3D novelty screen at the beginning. I think everybody at the beginning was like, well, how do we use this screen? And then by the end of its run, I think people worked out, let's just not use it, or actually let's forget that it's there and put some, and let's just make good games for it. And if people want to use it, and that hence the 2DS, I suppose. I think for my memories of the 3DS is I remember using it 3D when it very first came out. And then after the novelty wore off, I would probably just switch it to 2D mode and play the games in 2D because it would start to kind of give you a headache after a while.
Absolutely. And well, it was more a case of the original 3DS when you held it, you couldn't move. You had to, if you moved it left or right, it went out of focus and you'd see 2 images. But I don't know if I picked up a new 3DS. I wasn't intending to. I went around my cousin's house. Some girl-on-girl action on a Saturday night. So, really hope my wife doesn't walk
get your viewers
in now. Up. Yeah, hopefully it will probably get my heart rate going as well. So yeah, the new 3DS just looks wicked. Absolutely brilliant. You can move it around. The 3D on it is amazing.
And you know what? It got me a Christmas bonus at Blockbuster Video when I worked there as well.
Oh, nice.
They so when I worked at Blockbuster Video, one of the things that we had to do was get pre-orders for new games and new consoles, and the amount of 3DSs that I got pre-ordered, mainly because I told people there was going to be a shortage of them.
Okay, there wasn't a shortage.
There was no shortage. There had been a shortage of the regular DS Lite, particularly the pink DS Lite consoles a couple of sort of years earlier, where they'd been going on eBay for ridiculously inflated rates. And I sort of tapped one guy. I basically said, there's going to be a shortage of these. You want to make sure you get hold of one because they're going to be going for daft money on eBay. And he bought 12.
Wow.
And
he probably sold them on eBay.
Well, I don't think he'd have got much back because there definitely wasn't a shortage.
Oh, sorry, that was the 3DS he bought, not the pink ones, right? Yeah, no, he didn't get any money back.
Yeah, I'd use the shortage of the pink DS Lite to effectively sell this guy. I only wanted him to take one pre-order of a 3DS, and he says, "Well, yeah, you're right. Gosh, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna have to get a load of them." And he ended up buying
if you got
12
his
3DSs off me.
if you got his eBay username, maybe you can have a look to see if he's still got them listed for sale. You know, brand new, never
No,
opened.
I had to change my name and move town so he didn't find me.
Oh, imagine that. You know what were crazy? I remember the Wii's. The Wii's really did go for a lot of money.
They did, yeah. I mean, this is the thing with Nintendo. They had this thing in the sort of mid 2000s of having this sort of false scarcity to increase their brand, didn't they? Where they would maybe bring out less than what they needed, so that there was a perceived sort of premiumness to their devices, I think.
Yep. And do you know what? I am actually really looking forward to the Switch too.
Yeah, absolutely. I was watching the trailers and the sort of the build up to the Switch 2, and I was thinking, oh yeah, this looks quite good. But I mean, I'm not going to get one because I'll wait until the Switch 2 OLED comes out, because why would I want to get this? Why would I want to get this when the Switch 2 OLED is going to come out probably in like 6 months' time?
You reckon 6 months, or you're going to talk like 2-3 years?
Yeah, I don't know. Right, and then I thought, hang on a minute. With the original Switch, I never used it in handheld mode. I almost used it exclusively in console mode, like plugged into the dock. And so I sort of thought, well, why am I thinking I'm going to wait for an OLED version when probably Taki Udon's going to have an OLED mod out for it within 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think he's already said that he'll be, if it's he'll be working on a mod for it. But yeah, I'm the opposite. I've used it in handheld gaming. So I've really the only time I play it in the dock is if I'm streaming or making a video and I need to capture it. Apart
when
from
you said play it in the dock, I had images of you on trial.
Okay.
In a court in the dock, playing on your Nintendo Switch there for a second.
Do you know what?
I'm presuming you meant in.
I've been blessed when it comes to trial or any of that stuff. Yeah, I've got family members in law. I've got subscribers, 2 subscribers of the channel that are like lawyers in the US. So yeah, that I've kind of got that stuff covered. If that was the case somewhere. But
if you ever need a debt advisor on your side, that's my day job. I can help with that.
Really? Okay, so cool.
You've got a plethora of litigation experts surrounding you, so you can kind of feel free to do what you want.
I know, that's much appreciated. Do you know, while we're doing Dreamcast, let's look at something else, right? Because I feel like this game, where we're doing a lot of arcade stuff, this game is the epitome of arcade. It defines arcade. And I'm talking about no other game apart from Cannon Spike. Haha, have you played this before?
Yeah. The sort of offshoot. It's sort of a Capcom characters in a top-down shooter kind of thing.
It is exactly that. And when I played this, Pez, like I was blown away by this. I played this and I was like, wow, right, okay, why is it are we? Oh, that's really weird. It still thinks we're playing Dead or Alive.
I've jumped out of Dead or Alive. I can see you is not available currently, but I'm in the room.
Yeah, I can see you there as well, and I can see that it's saying that you're not available. I'm wondering if we need to. Should we just close down? I'm going to close down Fightcade and relaunch it.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Hopefully I'll go there and Cannon Spike. Okay, I'm not playing it. Wicked.
Quite a pricey one to pick up if you're after the original Dreamcast version, I believe. You know what?
I had all this stuff when I had my Game Shop, man. You know, they were being traded in. We're talking like, imagine Cannon Spike. I got it traded in for. We're talking like £1 or £2, man. Castlevania Symphony. And I had sealed copies of the Nintendo 64 because I purchased a business that went bankrupt. There was all this stuff there when I had my shop for 2.5 years, from I think 2002 to 2004, end of 2004. And yeah, all this stuff was there, but I had a massive collection. And then I remember I was moving house and I was like, I've got to move all this. So I traded in probably, like £250,000 worth of games, probably worth that now, maybe even more. The field stuff I sold on eBay. But yeah, man, it just kind of went. I had so much stuff there. This was around 2002 to 2004, all PlayStation 1, Super Nintendo, all that stuff was junk. It wasn't worth anything. So people were just getting rid of it because they wanted that new lamp. They didn't want that old stuff. They wanted new stuff. And yeah, I had it, but at the time I didn't realize the value would go up exponentially, because it would have been worth hiring a storage unit or putting them in my shed and just leaving them there, and paying for maybe one of my kids' wedding with it. So yeah, you don't know that. The only,
that's it. So what we're saying is, get down your local CEX, buy up all those PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4 games that are going, because a few years time, all those £1 copies of FIFA 2017 are going to be worth a fortune.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I wonder though, what do you think? Do you think? I mean, there'll always be some games that'll be worth a certain amount of money on like the modern consoles, But because like now, I guess maybe PlayStation 3 and the 360 era, because honestly, like the PlayStation 4 generation and beyond, when you're buying a physical game, you are buying a percentage of the game, aren't you? Because you go to turn it on and it's, oh yeah, by the way, here's a we need to patch it because we don't put anything on the disc anymore. Sometimes the patch is bigger than the game.
It's basically a commercial version of a Zapparoo card at this point, isn't it? It's basically those PlayStation 4 discs and PlayStation 5 physical copies. They're Tap 2, professional Tap 2 cards.
Absolutely,
but just in a circular form. You're right. I mean, and also the other thing is, I suppose the nostalgia effect is that the guys and the kids that are going to have nostalgia for PlayStation 4 and 5 games are probably going to be more. I remember buying it digitally, so they're not necessarily going to have the nostalgia for the physical version of it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a friend now that he's very, very invested in the PlayStation ecosystem. And I tell him to get a PC. He's one of my Street Fighter guys. We kind of met playing Street Fighter online, and I tell him, look, the best way to play it is on Fightcade, but he's really not interested. He's a PlayStation guy, and even to the point where he just doesn't want anything physical anymore. Everything is digital. Now, I don't mind new games being digital. Obviously, everything I'm playing on a PC is digital, but I just don't like the fact that, for example, if there was a digital game and the RRP was, say, £50, I can usually buy the physical version of that same game for like 35 or say £40, at least 20 to 30% cheaper. And
it should be the other way around, really. It
should be, it
feels like it should be the physical copy that's the premium, and the where you're just buying the license, you'd have thought that would be the discount, but it's not the way it's worked out.
It's never like that. And then the thing is, because you've got the disc now, if you hate the game or you keep it for a bit, you can always trade it in, you can sell it, you can lend it, and you're paying more for something that you can do less with. And you don't actually own your game unless you buy it from GOG. GOG are the only ones where they specifically let you download your stuff DRM free, which respect to them, to be honest, for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I am not consistent when it comes to my attitude towards physical media, because when I had all of the original hardware prior to my wedding and selling it all, I was very much Mr. Evercade, Mr. Optical Disc Emulator. So all of my classic games collection was very much ROMs on an SD card. I must have at one point owned about 50 or 60 SD cards by the time you add up all the different devices that you had running those things. And I spent probably 90% of my time running firmware updates on them, which I loved, which was, that was, I suppose, the fun of having that sort of collection. But then at the same time, if you go into my living room and you look on the shelf, you'll see a collection of movies on 4K Blu-ray, which is my new hobby. I've started collecting movies on 4K Blu-ray for some reason. And what do I do if I've got half an hour free on a Sunday afternoon? Let's go make some Zapparoo and Tap 2 cards.
Nice.
It's like I've got no love of physical media, but there's 4K Blu-rays and Zapparoo cards in this house. So answers on a postcard as far as my opinion on this, because I don't know where I'm coming from. And then when I had modern consoles, so I'm a PC gamer now, first and foremost, but when I had a sort of PS5 and Xbox Series X, and again, I would always prefer physical copies of those games. So, I think I'm just a confused lad that needs some help.
So with the Zapru stuff, they're working on like movie cards as well, aren't they? So you can actually you can make those, and they look really, really good. You've got some obviously you've got Wizzo, you've got Bedroom Ninja, you've got Anime Otaku, Phoenix, Pixel Memories. I probably left some people out, but very, very talented individuals that are aerial aces as well. I've been covering their stuff for like a year, and at some point I think they're going to stop releasing stuff. They're going to stop doing stuff, and before I know it, they've done something else. I think the most recent one today is Bedroom Ninja making these cartridges that have USB, your old USB sticks with the data on it to load the game, and set off by magnetic pogo sticks to launch a game. It's like, wow, okay, you can give someone like a cartridge feel. Like I've got like 30 cards of like my favorite arcade games. Wizzo sent me like an NFC reader ages and ages ago, and you know what, I haven't really bothered setting it up because
I would say don't. My advice to you would be don't get away from it now before it becomes an addiction, because it is something that you like. I never thought that scissors and stickers would become as big a part of my life in my 40s as they have done. I'm going on eBay going, oh look, there's some shiny sticker paper on sale here.
Wow.
If I got some shiny sticker paper, I can print onto shiny stickers and they'll be shiny, like those old football cards.
Yeah, that's what they remind me of, the Panini stickers. That's why I'm fascinated by them.
They are like Panini stickers that load Mega Drive games.
Absolutely.
What's not to like? It is absolutely brilliant. But I think it's great. I mean, I'm interested to see what the implementation is on this. The Super System, the sort of PlayStation Takiudon console that's due out, because I know that's got an NFC reader built into it, and obviously they've got this CD add-on dock underneath it as well, and is that going to be a true CD-ROM device?
No, Taki's even said it's going to rip the disc and it's going to run the ISO. So I mean, I don't, if you've got the discs and you're not playing on the original hardware on the Mister, I'd rather just play the ROM file of it and preserve my disc. Yeah. Unless obviously I'm playing FIFA, which is only going to go down from £1 to 50p.
Yeah,
but
absolutely,
that's there. But I was fortunate, man. At my last job, the guys that make the access cards, they actually had the printer to print on those cards. So I was friendly with them, and I was like, "Look, guys, I need some cards." And they said, "How many do you want? We can do you a few." I said, "How about 30?" they did them though. They did them, and I never bothered doing any more after. I've got them in a box underneath my bed. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would use them if I had them in my front room and I had people around and that. But the kids have kind of overtaken the front room, man. Yeah. So I've just left them to it. I used to have a games room, but that's now my daughter's room. I mean, I don't see why do it for the family. Sleep in the bathroom or in the bathtub. You can put a mattress in there, and I could have my games room, but. Kids, they demand a lot.
Gets in the way, innit?
Like a bed.
I've got a little folder. I've got a folder with like all the different sort of.
I feel like you're getting over to look at that folder.
All the different pictures of different console controllers on it, and then inside that, it's got all the sort of probably about 150, 200 Zapru cards in there of just my favourite console games of each system.
Oh, that's
brilliant. And I like looking through it. And to be honest, if I'm going to play on those games, am I going to use a Zapru card? Probably not, but I just like having them because it's something to sort of... And what I'm thinking is when my daughter gets a bit older, maybe that's the way she might enjoy launching games, because it's going to be something that she can just sort of hold up to the reader and she'll be into those games, because I'm going to bring her up the right way.
Absolutely. My kids playing. My kids are gamers. I've told them now, no more consoles. Switch. I don't even pay for the online subscription on the Switch now. they're all playing PCs. They've all got a laptop each. They've all got a gaming laptop. The lowest one in the house is a 3060, followed by a 3070, followed by a 4070. So they're packing some decent power for someone that plays for kids that play Apex Legend, Minecraft, and Rocket League. That's pretty much the games. And if there's a kid-friendly game on Epic Store, so they were enjoying Brotato recently, and that's what they play.
Rocket League is my guilty pleasure.
Oh really? Okay, yeah. My kid's really good at it, man. Well, so he says anyway. The one that said the one who at the moment has one leg longer than the other. So he's really good at it. So
maybe that's his secret.
Maybe having like one leg longer than the other. Do you wanna put on another game? Let me get out of this one. But go. We can run more Dreamcast. We can. No, you go for it, man. I picked the last one, so it's your turn now.
Let's go back to the world of pixels instead of
let's do that. So let's talk about something that you would like to see come over to Mister. So what's a game that you're like I'd love to see? I'd like to see a game that you would like to see. Sorry, I just see Philly in chat. Oh my god, all your kids have better GPU than my RTX 2080. Philly, do you know what? I have to say.
I tell you what, there's now wrong with an RTX 2080.
It's a good laptop. It's a good GPU, man.
It still pulls its weight. Even a few. That was my I've got a 4090 at the moment.
Oh wow!
But prior to that, I had a 2080 in it, and it still chucks its weight about. It's very very good. How about I'm really the one sort of I suppose unicorn core that we're looking forward to would be for me something like the CPS 3 coming through. How about something like JoJo Bizarre Adventure?
Okay, cool. We'll do that. I was gonna say Third Strike because it's the most popular one there, but we do JoJo's. Okay. So JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Can't play this game, but I do like this game. So
no, I had this. Yeah, I can't play it, but I had it. And I think I bought it on a whim.
Oh, I know you're here.
Yeah,
challenge you. I'm here.
Here we go. Accept. I had this on the Dreamcast.
Okay, yes. The Dreamcast versions, I don't think they were arcade perfect. They were good, but they weren't arcade perfect. Hopefully the buttons are done. Yeah, I did try and play this at one point while on the night shift on a handheld PC. No one picks Pet Shop. Anyone that picks Pet Shop is literally a piece of crap because it's banned from tournaments and it's just disrespected if you pick that character because it's very, very tiny. It's a bird that flies around and you just get battered. So, okay. Did I accidentally pick a banned character? I can't remember. Hopefully, I'm not this little dog. I didn't mean to pick it. The timer ran out. What the hell?
Oh, I think I'm the dog.
You're the dog. Okay.
Yeah, hang on.
I need to do buttons.
I need to do buttons.
I thought buttons were done, man. I thought it saved them. So,
oh man.
Okay, no input. Map game inputs.
Here we go. I think we're all right on mine now.
Okay. Weak attack. Medium attack. Strong attack. Oh, okay. Is this a 4? I thought this would be a 6-button game. Okay, so not in use. Is it 4 buttons only?
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the specs of what the actual CPS was, the processors that were involved, it shares a lot of stuff with the Saturn.
It does, yeah. So that's why a lot of people are saying that with the Saturn core, becoming what it is, CPS 3 is a possibility. Now, a lot of people always say, do you know what, it's impossible. But I remember when I first came to Mister and seen the Saturn core, people were like, nah, SRG 320 is not going to be able to do it. It's impossible. It can't do this. And we've got all people giving like scientific explanations as to why it can't happen. And you know what? It happened. I remember N64 being impossible. And even many people, other developers, I even remember Wicker Wacker saying that, he's one of the people that said, nah, N64 is impossible. But you had Robert Pape just put it off. And, okay, there was a couple of games that didn't work. However, patches were made to get those games working. So it's a very, very good cause. So, you know, the impossible is possible. The impossible is
different
possible.
approaches, though, isn't it? Different approaches to core development. That, I mean, like, if you wanted to take the two, I suppose, extreme examples, somebody like Robert Piep and Vertec, they are the absolute opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to developing FPGA cores. Because Robert Piep is, right, I'm going to build an emulator that's super accurate, and then I'm going to turn that emulator into an FPGA core, and then I'm going to put it through a load of tests to make sure that it's accurate. And it might not be anything like the original console, but it gives you the same results with no latency. Whereas Vertec is, right, I'm going to decap all these chips, I'm going to take a photo of it, and then I'm going to try and make that into an FPGA core, and it's going to be as per the photos. And I think as the systems get more complex, I think it's the sort of Robert Piep approach that is probably going to be the better for those more complex systems. Is let's not try necessarily to make it exactly like what the original die looks like, because it's just so complex. Let's take a really accurate emulator and turn it into something that works as an FPGA core that's working in parallel instead of in series, and then there you get all the benefits of FPGA without it being something that's just not achievable.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like you said, different approaches, and I'd have to agree with you there, because maybe everyone that said N64 was impossible was thinking about the Vertec route, reverse engineering, die shots, and then trying to build that in FPGA. Whereas Robert Pape built an emulator, said, "Yep, this emulator is good, it's accurate. Now I'm going to bring this in as an FPGA core." And it's the same. It's the destination is the same, but the journey is different.
And in fairness, the emulators that he built, I mean, it's not what you think of when you think of a software emulator. His emulator for the PlayStation core or the N64 core that he built would probably be running at something like 1 frame every second. Rather, it's not something that can be run on a proper PC, because it is literally emulating kind of everything about that system. But yeah, that approach, I just think it's fascinating to sort of read those Patreon posts that they put out about the core development, what went on, how there are different approaches to it. And I think that's one of the things that makes the scene so special, is that different people can try totally different approaches and different coding languages and everything, and you still end up with this kind of group of people that are making amazing stuff.
Bang on. Yeah, no, it's good. I'm just interested to see what more becomes of the MiSTer. What do you think about the 3DL core that SRG is working on? How far along do you think that will go?
Well, a lot of people have quoted me of saying that the 3DO, the Jaguar, and the CDI are the dregs of the consoles that were left to develop for the MiSTer. Now, I never said that, and anybody who says that I said that is wrong, and I'll see them in court. But no, I mean, the 3DO is not a system that I particularly had any love for, because I never really had much experience with it, to be brutally honest. But I'm looking for, I mean, it really, I suppose it's one of those ones where I'll like to discover the library. I know there's a lot of the better 3DO games ended up sort of making their way over to the PlayStation 1 and the Sega Saturn, like, the Road Rash port. I think the Saturn version of Road Rash is probably better than the version on the 3DO. But I'm quite interested to see. I think it's got a really good Street Fighter 2 version on 3DO.
The soundtrack's
and I think
the best on that, because I got 3DO for Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. The game's good. It's not arcade perfect, but the soundtrack, the arranged soundtrack's really, really good. In fact, I'd say it's even better than the original soundtrack.
How does it work on that? Because the 3DO controller is only 3 buttons.
It's 5 buttons. It had 2 shoulder buttons as well. Yeah, it was.
Okay.
I'm an idiot. I got myself a Neo Geo, which I've mentioned it before on the channel. We used to go to Computer Exchange before it became CEX, and when someone turned up in a shop without any ID, we would kind of follow them out and offer them money for it. So I ended up getting a Neo Geo for very, very cheap with Fatal Fury, Ninja, I think it was called Ninja Combat, and I can't remember, maybe one other game. And because Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo was out and I'm a Street Fighter fan, I traded my Neo Geo in plus money on top to get a 3DO. So I got Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo with it. I liked the game for the whole part. There was what else was there? There was a good game on there called Return Fire. There was a game called Quarantine, which was like a taxi game. Never figured out the game. Never figured it out. There was Return Fire, Need for Speed, Quarantine. There was a Batman cartoon that I used to like watching on there because you didn't really have cartoons on computers. But in all honesty, and no disrespect to all the 3DO fans out there, because 3DO does seem to have a lot of love for a system that I just didn't consider it to be a great system. It flopped, it died, it didn't have a mass amount of good games for it. But for the point of preservation, for the point of doing streams, and it'll be awesome to get that system. Like if we don't get it, it's not something that'll be like, oh, you know what, I really wish we had it. But if we do get it,
I think we'll get it.
Yeah,
we
cool.
will get it. I mean, with the fact that SRG 320 is on the case, he'll do it because he's an absolute genius. The fact he's been able to do it from occupied areas of Ukraine under sort of Russian occupation, and he's been able to sit there and develop a Sega Saturn core, and then by the way, in my spare time, a 32X core.
How does that work?
Unreal. How does that even happen?
Yeah,
we'll get it. But and I will tell you what I will do as well. When it comes out, I will put out a YouTube video where you'll see a thumbnail. It'll have my face on it. I will look shocked and impressed on that face, and I will say how amazed I am by the fact that we've now got a 3DO core on the MiSTer, and how impressed I am with it. But it'll be a lie because I've got no love for that system. So I just want all your viewers to know that it'll be a fake.
Okay.
I'll try my best to muster up some enthusiasm.
Here's the funny thing now, Pez, right? So for the Jaguar, I had no love for it whatsoever. I played it in a video game shop, played the Alien versus Predator. I looked at the games and magazines and I was like, you know what, for the whole part, this is fairly crap. But doing the streams on it and trying it out, it actually becomes fun. You can appreciate a lot more stuff now that we're older and we're looking back at it. We're like, okay, this was actually all right. There's some stuff on there. You can see why it died. You can see why it wasn't popular, because at the time, you had the choice of something with lots of games, lots of support, massive catalog, or you had something with very little games on there. So it was obvious. But I think you're gonna go in trying to fake it, and I think you're going to end up enjoying it. You're going to be. Over. I think it will. I think it will, because
how will people know that now that I've said this on this stream?
Do you know what? I don't know. You'd have to just confess. You'll have to say in the video
into a corner, and I.
Yeah, you have. You'll have to say in the video that, guys, I thought I wasn't going to enjoy it. I was going to fake it. But in the end, it won me over. Like those movies where they go to, it's like a love story, but they love someone. Either they're like an undercover agent, they're in it for the money, there's an ulterior motive, and then they really fall in love with them. But ultimately, when the other person finds out, he ditches them, but they're like, no, I came in with this reason, but I love you. I think that's what's going to happen.
It's going to be exactly like that.
It's going to be, pretty much. But so
the video that I'll put out, I think I'm going to need to do in an apology video style, like a Linus Tech Tips style. I'm learning from this. I'll become a better person. I've listened and I've learned.
I feel like there's not enough apology videos out there on YouTube. In fact, I feel I may need to do one. I'm just not sure who to kind of go there. I'll have to wait. I think
we should pivot and become exclusively apology videos, like just weekly apology videos about whatever topic of the day. It's just an apology video.
Get me your manager. I forgot about Arcade Karen. Karen, thanks for popping by. We do have a planned guest, which is what was his name again? Darth Dreamcast, was it, or Darth DC?
Yeah.
And his Pado 1.
Pado 1. There's not enough I'm a big fan of puns,
Okay.
and that is an S tier pun.
Yeah, I liked it. It came up, but I wasn't sure if everyone would get it. I'm glad you picked up on that. I was like, you know what, Paddle 1, yeah, that was it. Just kind of fell in. It was only going to be Darth. Oh, you've left the game. Wow. Let's have a look.
Okay.
I've got people here. See, you can watch the replay of all your stuff on here. So yeah, we can search replays. But yeah, let's go. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna pick a game now. You pick CPS3. Right. So let's go for Gladiator. The road to, hopefully it's on here. Hopefully this, yeah, it has. So the Gladiator Road of the Sword. This is a brilliant brawler, and this game, and I think Martial Masters would be my top dog. My favorite games on yeah, some of my favorite cores that I'd love to see come over. So let's have a look at this. What time have we got? How long have we been streaming for? Oh, we got about. We can go on till about 9 pairs, maybe about another 25 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know. So Pez accepts the challenge. So guys, I recommend trying out Fightcade. As you can see, look, me and Pez are just chilling here. It's a very mellow stream. You can see there are so many different games that we can play and enjoy with,
and we've gone from acquaintances to being friends.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
definitely.
What Fightcade,
absolutely. Street Fighter
subtitle should be. You know, join Fightcade, go from acquaintances to being friends. That should be their tagline.
Absolutely. We should get some adverts done, some visual cues. You know, maybe even an AI song to go with it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Right, I don't know what button to. Doing my buttons. By the way, there's someone in chat called Philly. If they ever say to you they want to play you at any game, don't play them. Yep. They're a hustler. They will beat you. They'll make you feel like you're worth nothing. They will destroy you. I played them on Fightcade, and then after that I was in the shower, and my wife was like, "You've been in there 2 hours," and then she opened the door. The shower was running. I had the sponge. My skin was red, and I was like, "I just can't get it off. I just can't get it off. I can't get off the shame." And you know, she made me a hot cup of cocoa. She brought it into the shower. The water from the shower went into the cocoa, and then I stayed in the shower for a little while longer. And then I remembered when I hit puberty, and I learned to wiggle the stick, and then I was happy, and then I left.
Polish your spokes.
Right, okay. Let's. Oh, are we playing? No, we're not. Insert coin.
Wait, hang on. I need to do my.
Do your buttons.
Yeah.
Oh, I am playing. I think. No, I'm not. What the heck is going on? I'm pretty sure. Hold on, I might need to do my mapping. But I'm pretty sure I gave it a coin button. Maybe I didn't. That's a coin button there. Start button there. I've definitely done.
You've got 9 credits, so I reckon your coin button is working.
Oh, I've got 0. Oh, is there 2? I've got 2 instances up. No, I've got 0 on here. Are we?
Do you want to invite me, or shall I invite you instead?
Yeah, go on then. Let's close this down. I have saved it. Go for it. Give me a challenge. Let's bust it. Ooh, that goes loud. Mm-hmm. And sorry, guys, I've not been paying much attention to chat, but love you all, my people. Pez is keeping me too occupied.
Feel free to take some questions from
let's have a look. So okay, so
lovely people.
So we got Anti-Larry. Golden Axe Revenge of the Father. I don't mind. That's a game. See, I like that game. I like the original better because that's Golden Axe. But I have to say, when I started playing it, like some brawlers, it gets a little bit boring towards the later of the game. But that's obviously because I don't know how to play it. You know, once you master the formula, you learn the mechanics, you can play it a little bit better. What else is Valkyrie's in the house as well?
People have got a love for that because of the fact that there was no console port.
Maybe. I know Sega Snatchers over on the FPGA Gaming Discord. That's one of their favorite brawlers. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the game. I do like it. It's not that I dislike it. I just preferred the original Golden Axe. But that's also because I played it in the arcade. I never played Revenge of the Death Adder. I discovered it years later on emulation. The same way I discovered Golden Axe the Duel on the Sega Saturn core. And I was like, wow, okay, this stuff's really, really good. But yeah, so Golden Axe 1 is gold. Right, what is going on? All right, I have no idea what's going on here with.
I'm showing on. I can see a character select screen.
Yeah, something weird is going on with my one.
Now
Man.
I can see you on my. I can see you on my character select screen now.
Now I'm looking at something. If you look at your Discord screen, am I sharing the screen still? Am I sharing that screen?
Yeah.
You can see I'm looking at something completely different. Let's have a look.
I'll tell you what. Feel free to play it single player. Then I'll just chat and watch.
I can't even. It's not even responding for me, man. Yeah. I have no idea what's going on here. But you know what? The viewers can see it. Play it on your end. But guys, this game here, the Gladiator, this is on PGM, aka IGS, and yeah, for the whole part, it's a really, really good brawler. It plays really, really well. The graphics are brilliant. Animation is superb. The combat feels good. It feels really, really good. But all right, since that isn't working, let's go for something a little bit.
PGM definitely is a console that, I don't think there's much doubt that it's within the grasp of the MiSTer, is it? It's basically the sort of very, very similar to a Neo Geo in lots of ways.
It is. It's known as the Taiwanese Neo Geo, from what I recall. Is there a game you wanna go? We can go into a game if you like, Pez. Just pick one. Since
we haven't played any shmups, why don't we play something like Pro Gear on the CPS2?
Oh yeah, sure.
Safe bet. We know it's going to work. Love Pro Gear.
It's a great game, and it is just normal resolution, isn't it? I think it's one word. Oops, got a hiccup there.
I am just pouring out a can of beer Moretti at the moment, so if I don't jump on straight away,
no worries. What have I got? I got peach iced tea. Actually, I was at Lidl this morning.
Down the Lidl. What was on the? Was there anything in the middle aisle?
Oh, I don't know. I usually go bakery, man. My kids didn't want to come today, you know. One of them was up. I usually go with them in the morning, and they were like, "Oh, Dad, we don't want to go."
They have a very good bakery.
So that's pretty much what we go for. So I go in there, grab like 5 croissants, 3 almond croissants. 3 of one donut, 3 of this, 3 of that. But I like when my boys go with me. They let me down. They didn't come out. I'll give them like 3 bags each. They get 3 items each. Tell them double up. Make sure you get your sister 3 items. Then I grab stuff for the wife, grab stuff for the mother. Just literally, I think I end up spending around £15 on bakery in there, which at Lidl's prices probably gets you a couple of hundred items.
I was going to say that's a large suitcase of carbohydrates. Really, isn't it?
I became a shareholder.
Yeah, I was going to say 15 quid in Lidl goes a long way for anybody who's not in the UK, or I suppose not access to a Lidl. I don't know if Lidl is a worldwide brand. It feels like it is.
I saw it when I went to Italy. I saw it there. I know it's a German company, so.
But have they got as far as the United States?
Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe there's going to be some crazy tariffs on that. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, there's a lot. I've just seen a lot of. Just rules, regulations, just lots and lots of different stuff there. So I kind of feel bad for all the guys that are buying like handhelds, and everyone that's bought a Mr. Pi is going to be subject to higher charges now. So
all these tariffs.
Either way of looking at it, we're not a political channel, so I'll never discuss anything political. But at the end of the day, it's just going to be consumers that are paying. So, and that's just a fact. Go over here. If you put the price up for a country to put, to charge them more, they're only going to make the consumer pay for it. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's difficult. I know for a lot of our viewers that are sort of in the sort of South American countries, Brazil. For a long time, it's been very, very expensive to get anything imported into Brazil.
Yeah, I remember people saying it was like double the price, effectively, maybe even more.
And it's a shame, isn't it? But I don't know. Have you seen any of this sort of postbox, Dropbox kind of services that exist?
Oh, you mean like a mail forwarding thing where you buy from that address and then they send it to you? I've never used one. I do know of them.
I use one in America for importing stuff from America, and you can sort of build up buy 6 or 7 things and then have them all shipped over in one box. Okay. And then you can often, because you're sending it from yourself to yourself,
You can often just declare it as whatever you want to declare it as, if you don't mind being arrested by the taxman. But it's there are always ways and means, and it's good. I mean, I and if I get put in prison for dodging tax, then I can start some sort of prison cult.
You know what, Pez? You might be too good looking for prison, buddy. You may not survive it.
Well, I've always been told as long as you go and find the biggest guy in the first day and give him a punch, you can be all right.
Cool.
So I'm going to do that. I do that in whatever.
Yeah, but what if the biggest guy is like this guy there, blind, Down syndrome, and has like 2 arms missing? You really got to punch him. He's just obese.
I need to follow the rules that I've set for myself. I can't be inconsistent, right? If that's what I've set for myself, then that guy's going to get a punch. And if his family or his carers come to me and say, "Why did you punch him?" I'll just explain it, and they'll look me in the eyes and go, "You know what? I don't like what you've done, but I appreciate your principles."
You know what? Yeah, all right, cool. No, I could see them kind of agreeing to that. Wow.
No, I mean, if you are watching, don't go to prison and don't punch people that have got extra needs.
Yeah, especially in prison. But don't go prison. We don't want to go prison. I've seen Prison Break, and some bad things happen. So, not
Prison Break being a completely accurate representation of what happens in prison.
Well, it is a documentary. And all I know is never hold another man's pocket when he turns it inside out.
Yeah, and also make sure you've got like a map tattooed on your back.
Absolutely. I mean, I've kind of got that already. I'm not hoping to go prison, but just got to be careful, right?
I would have thought you'd have had like the Konami code tattooed on your back, Pixel.
No. When I go in, I'm intending on doing a barrel roll.
Yeah. Where did the name come from?
Oh, so
why are you Pixel Cherry Ninja? What's the history of the cherry?
Do you know what?
Pixel I can kind of get my head behind.
It was
where'd it come from?
So when I came up with a name, honestly, I get very it's difficult picking a name because I was telling people in the news video today, I've seen a lot of people on Taki Udon's retro remake addressing Taki Udon on Twitter saying, "Can we change our color? I didn't want to get black. I want white. And I'm like, look, you've ordered it. Why create this layer of? Why present an opportunity for potential errors by changing your order? Just suck it up and stay with your color." So. I forgot what my bloody point was. So it was a name, Pixel Cherry.
We were talking about your name.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a point to kind of make with that. So.
Your point was once you've chosen it, you're stuck with it.
Yeah, so once you've chosen it, you're stuck with it. Yeah. So what happened was I was like, okay, what do I make? And I was like, okay, I want a name that when you search it is unique. So I was like, I like pixel games, I like pixel art, I like cherries, and who doesn't like ninjas?
I'll be brutally honest with you. It's the cherries part I'm most curious about. I mean,
okay. I mean, they just
everybody knows ninjas. You're either going to be Pixel Cherry Ninja or you're going to be Pixel Cherry Pirate. Let's face it.
Yeah. So right, you know what, right? So I like how cherries taste. Right, they taste good, and you can once you kind of eat it, you can roll that seed around your mouth, and then you can spit it out in either a sexy way or either a vulgar way. The choice is completely yours. I'll go for the latter.
A sexy way. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? And the other thing is, I've always liked what the pixel cherries look like in video games. Whether we're talking Pac-Man, whether we are talking Super Mario Brothers.
I'd never made that connection. I'd never made the pixel cherry. It was often the sort of the bonus thing in Pac-Man or whatever. It was the item you collected to give you a great
just
big
look
bonus.
Good. Video game pixel fruit looks amazing. It looks amazing. I'd love to eat one, but kind of licking my TV just might not go down too well. So I just like how
that's totally different from what I thought the origin of it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was just 3 words. I was very random with what I was doing. It was like, okay, let's go with this. And if someone puts that name in, and hopefully it will just bring them over to me once they put in all 3 words. But my channel only started as a joke. I worked with a guy that was a Liverpool supporter. He done a Liverpool fan channel, and I said to him, "Your channel's crap. I'm going to make a channel and it's going to be better than yours. So what I used to do is when I used to finish night shift, I used to have a handheld PC, you know, with first it was a 8-inch screen, then I got the newer model with a 10-inch screen, which I think I'm going to sell now because I never bloody use it. So I used to come in, I used to play a bit of Castlevania, stream it, then I'd make a few random videos, just experimenting with stuff. And, you know, when I started doing the FPGA stuff, my channel, I think he's on, you know, maybe he's 10% of what my channel is. So, yeah, I enjoyed winding a guy up at work. So I used to just tell him, look, man, your channel's rubbish. I used to try.
In fairness, he's a Liverpool fan, and they don't have any fans, so he's
are they doing well now?
Already.
Because this guy would book holidays to go to a football game, and you know, I think he went on one holiday a year with his missus. The rest of the time, he was just doing football related stuff in all his holidays. So, are they doing well now? I think they lost the other day. So.
Yeah. I think they're top of the league.
Oh wow! Okay.
I don't know. I don't look at the Premier League because I was born in Sunderland, so I'm a Sunderland fan.
Sunderland last time when I used to watch football, Sunderland were actually in the Premier League. That's obviously changed now, right?
You are going. Yeah, we dropped all the way down to League One, and then we're just sort of crawling our way back up at the moment. But no, that's interesting. I mean, I have a totally different origin story that I'm going to be telling people is the origin for your name.
Okay.
And my origin of Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel name. Have you ever heard of the service, What 3 Words?
No, but please enlighten me.
Okay. So there's a service called What 3 Words, which is if you want something to be delivered to a specific location, you can obviously give your postcode and you give your address, but obviously in some areas your postcode and your address is not going to get you to your front door, and it can sometimes be a bit of a challenge to find somebody's front door, particularly if they live in rural areas, right? So What 3 Words basically gives every square meter of the entire planet 3 words that represent that particular square meter. So you might find that your address translates on What 3 Words to be, I don't know, bucket, elephant, umbrella.
That's pretty cool.
So your address might be whatever, and I just thought that maybe Pixel Cherry Ninja was the address of your front door on What 3 Words.
Wow. Okay. No. No. I hope it's not. I'll have to check that out. That would be quite a coincidence, right? Okay.
It would be an extraordinary coincidence.
Yeah.
If that was it.
I mean, I should have played the lottery instead. I know when I was doing crypto, there was the seed phrase, wasn't it? Which was, I can't remember. Yeah, it was like
maybe that's what
20 words or so. It was like 20 words, like 20 random words and everything. And it was really interesting because, you know, when I was in crypto, everyone was kind of into it for a bit. What I was doing was you'd get these scammers that will try and get your seed phrase so they could overtake your wallet and nick all your crypto funds, right? So, you know, you'd make up like a random word and then you put in like, you know, you son of a whore or something right in the middle of it.
Right. So if I can find your crypto wallet, then there's a chance that I might be able to hack it by putting in Pixel Cherry Ninja. That's what you're saying, just in case this is...
Go for it.
Okay.
At this moment in time, if you went into my crypto wallet, you'd probably end up in debt. So the gas fees would probably kill you. So, and you'd get nothing.
I've never dabbled in crypto. I've only dabbled in crypto when I have absolutely had to dabble in crypto, and that was the one time my PayPal account used to be my default purchasing option for stuff I bought on Steam.
Okay.
And somebody hacked into my Steam account, bought a load of Steam vouchers, and I had to get a refund sorted because obviously I'd not bought these Steam vouchers. They'd broken my thing and used my PayPal account to buy it. And I managed to get the money back, which was great, but only at the expense of my PayPal account being blacklisted on Steam.
Right, okay.
And so I ended up opening a crypto wallet as a substitute payment method for Steam games. And I bought a game, and I obviously have to upload stuff into your Steam wallet and whatever. And I think the game I bought, I can't remember what it was, but I put about sort of £30-40 into the wallet. And the game itself was slightly less than that. And I had like, I don't know, 0 point whatever it was, Bitcoin left in there. And I went back 3 years later, and there was like 70 quid in this crypto wallet.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, that's more than what I put in, because obviously the price had gone up so much.
You got yourself another game then.
Got myself a couple more games off the back of it.
Wicked.
But
that is quality. Sorry, I was gonna
obviously check with a financial advisor if you do intend in investing in crypto.
Oh, absolutely. Should we
any losses you're liable to, not me.
Absolutely. We are not financial advisors. Where's R-Type Leo?
Yeah, although technically I am a financial advisor, but I'm still not taking liability for anybody. Yeah.
Absolutely right. So let's do R-Type Leo, and then after that you can pick one more game, and then we'll call it a wrap today. But yeah, it's definitely been fun. Great way to spend Saturday. I'm going to be getting some other people on there.
It's been, from my point of view, it's been, so, you know, this is the schmaltzy nice bit of the stream where I just say, you know, when I left YouTube, it was because I needed to go and get away, and I needed to sort my life out and fix a load of stuff that was wrong with my life. And at the time, a lot of people were like, oh, I'm really sad to see you're not putting videos up anymore. And shortly after that, you started doing Mr. News videos, and so did Lou. Obviously, Lou with his Mr.
Lou's really. I like Lou's videos. You know, no nonsense, straight facts, just no fluff, straight out facts.
And you guys putting out your regular news videos made me feel like I didn't need to come back, because you guys had it, and you were doing all the news, and people watching it, and they were getting all the and so actually, in an indirect way, you helped, because I didn't feel the pressure to come back. And now that I am back, I feel like I can just do videos of daft stuff and the comedy stuff that I enjoyed doing, and I haven't got the pressure to go and make videos about what's the latest core that's been released by Jatago. So from my point of view, I'm just so happy that your channel has done so well. It's picked up I feel like the baton has been passed on. You've picked it up and done the news stuff. And now that I'm back, I can just kind of do silly things and talk in Dreamcasts, which is actually what I enjoy doing anyway. And so I think it's really nice that we've been able to have this evening tonight, because it's obviously those that have been on the scene since the very beginning will have probably watched my videos and then migrated over to yours, if that makes sense.
Die out here, and I'm just going to bring up on screen your details. So anyone that hasn't subscribed to Pez's channel, there you go, you got the details on there, and I really recommend. So the return video, the trailer, decent. Gonna do a review of your channel quickly. Let me just die on R-Type Leo. So Sender Clones, that was an alright video. That was more factual than anything else from what I recall. The FPGA News new tiny FPGA SiP tank console. That video, as far as I'm concerned, is a masterpiece. You have to watch it. Watch it right now. Instead, stop watching this stream because we're a couple of old men waffling. Watch that single old man do it, or just watch it. And if you're not subscribed to Pez's channel, subscribe to it, because whereas I'm giving you quantity, Pez is definitely giving you quality. So definitely check that out. But that last video, it's really good. Like, you know, where something agrees with your humor, this one just got me, man. Like I watched it again and again, and it's one of the ones where I'm randomly laughing. I called up my friend and I was like, dude, my friend that got me into Mr. And I was like, you got to watch Pez's video. And by the time we finished the call, he goes, well, I'm not going to watch it now because you've kind of told me everything about it. And I was like, you just got to watch it again. And you know what made me laugh was the comments as well, where someone's like, you know, no problem, I moved it into my garage. I think I come on.
You know what? Everybody who commented like kept in character. It was unbelievable. The whole point of that video was the Tang, like on the Tang console website, they make such a big thing about the fact that it's smaller than the Mister. And I was sitting there going, who cares? Like, it's smaller than the Mister. How the Mister's tiny anyway. It's about the size of a couple of cigarette packets put together. No one is sitting there going, gosh, I'd have bought a Mister, but it's too big. And the Tang console was really pushing the fact that it was 40% or 50% the size of the Mister. And I was like, tell me more about this Tang console. I'm interested. Like, it's a cheap. Like, what they should have been pushing was it's half the price of the Mister. It's $69 and it'll play like all these cores, and it's like. But the fact that they were pushing so much on the physical size of it, I just thought, this is silly. I'm going to make a video pretending that the big problem that everybody had was that the Mr. console was too big. And then at the same time, the main news story of the day was the fact that this DeepSeek AI model had come out just like in the wake of, President Trump put in all this like investment behind AI, and obviously Nvidia had lost $600 million in its share value, and I thought there's something there as well. So it ended up being like a parody of the current news on the AI, and then just this whole thing about Mr. being too big when it clearly isn't too big. And the only audience I was aiming at was me, and as long as it made me laugh, I was like, that'll do, because actually I don't need to be this source of news anymore, because Mr. is now, it's taken off, it's got a great big following, and it's got thousands of people who are putting out videos about it, and so I can just do daft stuff that makes me laugh, which, if other people find it funny, brilliant. If not, I'll still be making the videos because I like video editing and I make myself laugh about it.
Yeah, well, so anyway, we've got. What did it start off with? Let me say, where's like, so people always say to me, John, or Pez 82, and they say to me, we want to get into FPGA gaming, we want this, Mr. But the issue that we have is we can't dedicate a whole room in the house to getting one. We don't have the space, and the thing is, it's your seriousness when you do it. If someone doesn't know Mr. and this is the first video they come across, they're likely thinking this is a computer from like the 1940s or something, exactly. Where it's so massive, and if they're like, is this bullshit? And then they read the comments and someone's like, yeah, you know what, problem solved. I split up with my wife. She wanted the custody battle with the kids. I said, you can take the kids, and now the kids' rooms are actually housing a Mr. I've used the extra closet, which was used for storing shoes, to get some additional SD RAM. And I really liked, there was a bit where you had the Blockbuster font and you had Mr. add-ons there, which was really good. They looked really good. Very, very funny.
Yeah, that took far too long for something that was only on screen for less than 4 seconds. I had to go and... So first thing was a Google search to say, what is the font that is used by Blockbuster Video?
Okay.
So I found the font, then I downloaded the font, then I went and found a picture of a Google search, an image search of Blockbuster Video Store closing, which, funnily enough, there's loads of them. Right. And so I chose one that looked quite good. And then I put that into PowerPoint of all programs, because I'm not a photo editor. Wrote the logo out, and then had to sort of mess around with the angle of the font so that it sort of layered over where the block was. But also do it in a way where you could blatantly see the Blockbuster logo behind it, because I also wanted it to look like I'd done it on MS Paint. So it was this sort of like, make it look good, but also make it look kind of crap.
Yeah, I think you've done a good job there. And that's a good angle to go, because a lot of the stuff I do, I purposely want it to look exactly the same. I want it to look good and bad at the same time. And an example of that, let's bring it up on screen, is Daft Dreamcast and Pado 1. It's just, it's literally, I've done that before, a little bit before the stream, while in the toilet on my mobile phone. I spent too long in the toilet though, maybe about 15 minutes. I could have been out in maybe 3.5, so I kind of got carried away.
Well, you were polishing your spokes.
I was absolutely, I was. Right. Okay, so do one final game now, because I played a bit of R-Type Pleo, and we've got that for the Mr. by the way, guys.
I tell you what I want to go back to. This is one of my favourite Neo Geo games.
Go for it.
And oh gosh, what's it called? The top-down shooter that is on the Neo Geo.
Top-down. Are we talking vertical shooter, or usually top-down or vertical?
I'm going to say it's. I've just said it's my favourite, and then immediately.
Is it Shock Troopers or
Shock Troopers 2?
Oh yeah, that's awesome, man. I love that game.
And it's the soundtrack on it, which is amazing.
Yeah,
Shock Troopers Second Squad.
Yeah, wicked. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, here we go. Fightcade 2. I am in. That is what she said. Right, excellent. Yeah, I like this game a lot. I really hope it remembers my controls, because I feel like some of the games I was playing, I didn't have all the buttons. But as long as some of the buttons were there, it was good. So, I always
when they were
Angel
fighting games where we're against each other. I think not having half the controls give me a fighting chance.
I made sure the controls were on there, man. No mercy there. Like in fighting games, if you beat me, you beat me fair and square, man.
Yeah.
You know, I got this one friend, man. Like we went to like those exhibitions in a trade show, and he played this little kid, man, and like he should have let the kid win, but he double perfect this kid, man. I'm like, dude, you know. What are you doing? He was like, nah, man. He goes, you play me at Street Fighter? You play, and the thing is, he is genuinely one of the best players in the UK. Guy is sick, absolutely sick. We met actually in my game shop. He came in. I had the Street Fighter arcade machine in there. He played that. We got talking. We were playing a game called Capcom versus SNK 2 at the back of the shop. He was like, oh, I play that game, by the way. And I was like, yeah, sure. Do you want to play? So this guy was a pro player. He played on an arcade stick. I gave him a PlayStation 2 pad. So I beat him on the PlayStation 2 on the controller. And yeah, he was like, I play on an arcade stick. I was like, sure thing. Whatever you say, kid. Good on you. And he goes, I want to bring my arcade stick and play you with my proper controller. I was like, whenever you're ready, kid. The kid only turns up the next day with an arcade stick. And so this time I said, look, I can't play you. I've got some work to do. So I let this other guy that was in the shop play him. And it was almost like a kung fu movie, where I'm the boss and I sent out like a henchman to go and fight him. And he battered this guy, The guy came back limping after playing a game of Capcom versus SNK 2. And he was like, badly speaking in dub language, boss, I got destroyed by this guy. I was like, okay, so I said, all right, look, let me play. I used to smoke back then, so I smoked outside, finished my cigarette. I said, all right, let's have a game. So this character, in this, it's got the ratio system. So generally you'd pick three characters, 2 ratio 1 characters, and your anchor is a ratio 2 character. So what ended up happening is, he beat all 3 of my characters with just his ratio 1 character. In fact, he battered me. So I started speaking to the guy. I said, look, man, you're really good. Like, come around to our sessions. We have a session on Saturday. Play with us. And he kind of introduced me to this professional circuit with professional players, guys that went to tournaments. So like players like Ryan Hart, that would have been the biggest name in the UK at the time. And, told me, and it just opened up the level of competition that I had, and I was like, wow. And he's one of my best friends now. I met him like, when was it, like 23 years ago, and since then we've just been really, really good friends, man. And he still kicks my butt in Street Fighter, man. Like I very rarely get wins on the guy, whenever we play. Very, very good. So yeah, that was
amazing.
Yeah, that was
well, I stopped listening to that anecdote probably about quarter of the way through it, but it sounds like you really care about what you just said, and I think it's good.
Yeah, and to be honest, I can't even remember what I said, so I'm glad we had this conversation.
I've enjoyed tonight.
That's
appreciate
good, man.
Being invited. I want to, obviously, we'll have to do this again. You're more than welcome.
Oh, absolutely.
To come on the PES 82. We'll do a stream maybe
no problems.
In a few weeks' time. It'd be great, wouldn't
it? So what I'm trying to do is every Saturday at 7 o'clock, because my wife, hopefully she's not watching this, but I annoyed her a little bit earlier because I arranged something for tomorrow with the boys, but I was supposed to do something for her. So I kind of used the excuse that I'm doing it for the kids. So she's a little bit annoyed at me. But what I am trying to do is on every Saturday, I'm trying to bring a guest on. But it's not limited to being a guest on. I could also be a guest on somewhere else. So yeah, let's arrange another time. Maybe, so when's this, February? So maybe in March time. Arrange a time for your channel. We'll go on, have a theme. You can do MiSTer. We can share our screen via Discord as well. So if you want to run MiSTer, Analogue Pocket, if you want to do more Fightcade, hit me with whatever you want. And yeah, man, we can gladly come on and do this again.
Brilliant. Lovely stuff. Well, listen, it's been an absolute joy to be on your channel.
Super.
I appreciate it. And
sorry, I just shot a horse.
Everybody watching, please do, check out my channel if you want to. If you don't, I won't hold it against you. But thanks for watching.
Wicked. All right. Well, you know what? Let's call this a wrap, guys. I was going to go on for a bit, but Pez has ended the stream. So, let's go. Anyway, guys, be awesome. Wicked. Pez, thank you for coming on the stream. And this is Pixel Cherry Ninja and Pez 82.